G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's July 28, 2023. This is the Commodities update. We've got a few targets hit today with an update and also some divergence to watch out for in the coming hours. So let's first of all go to our table of results. And so first of all, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we've got a daily bearish divergence. So looking at Bitcoin first on the daily, you can see here if I zoom in, we've got a very slight bearish divergence here on the CCI, and even though our stochastic is well oversold and the CCI has dropped off. Now it's hard to see there, but let me just blow that up. You can see there very clearly there's a bearish divergence on the CCI. You can see there on the price it's a bullish movement, so we are expecting it to break down. Now I've drawn a Fibonacci range here. It may have already done its bit, coming down to about the 38%, and that coincides with this support level at 28.80. So we may see it break below this support, in which case it'll be very bearish as well in terms of price movement. Now in terms of the hourly chart, there is not much really to talk about there. It's going pretty much sideways since our last update. You'll see there the CCI has bounced as well as the price, but it's pretty much in line with the price action on the CCI. The stochastic, however, is fallen well below the midpoint since our last update, down to the oversold. So again, this is unknown at the moment, but we may see a bounce from here, possibly. Otherwise, if it keeps declining from here and the CCI keeps dropping, we're going to see it break through this support level. So I'll keep an eye on that. Next, we'll talk about natural gas. And now we've got a target hit on the hourly, although the price action is pretty much neutral, and it's hovering around the 61% level. So first off on the daily, we've drawn these support resistance lines here for some time, and it's been bouncing in this range for some time. And again, we did draw this bullish divergence. For those new to the channel, we did draw this bullish divergence versus the price, and we've got, if it breaks above this resistance at 29.30, we expect it to hit this target area, which happens to be the 23% to the 38% level on the Fibonacci range. But at the moment, since our last update, we've had a bearish candle, and it's gone pretty much sideways or a very slight decline. And that brings us to the hourly chart, and that's where it's actually fallen off and hit our bearish divergence. You can see there was a bearish divergence drawn on the CCI versus the price in terms of a flat top. The CCI kept declining, the price fell and hit our target area, which was drawn between the 38 and 50% level. So again, you'll notice on the stochastic as well, it's reached the midpoint, and it needs to bounce from here to be more positive and bullish. Otherwise, it may fall further. But we need to see where the action goes from here on. For US crude, there is a bearish divergence on the hourly, although the price has been moving in a bullish momentum, and it's currently hovering around the resistance area. So let's look at each of these first off. On the daily, you can see there we've got the price has reached that resistance at 79.77, and it's sort of just stuck there at the moment and struggling to break through it. It did actually break through with a candle, with a wick on that candle yesterday. So we've got, and the CCI and the stochastic are both moving to the bullish momentum. The stochastic is still in the oversold area, so we may see further upside, and we may actually see it break through this resistance. However, on where are we on the crude oil, on the hourly, you can see there it's been hovering around that resistance on the hourly as well, but we did draw this bearish divergence versus the price, so we drew this target, and that's something we need to look out for. In other words, the price may actually fall from here. You can see there the stochastic is in the well overbought territory. The CCI is still declining, and the stochastic seems to be, well, it's not really turning down yet dramatically, but it may start coming down and may bounce down from this resistance area. So again, that's probably something to look out for, with the CCI still in decline on this divergence. The US dollar has had a target hit on the hourly chart, although there is a bearish momentum approaching the neutral area with a bullish retrace to the 50%. So let's look at first off on the daily. You can see there it bounced off this support area at 99.12. It's been advancing that way for a number of days now. Both the CCI and the stochastic are both moving to the upside, with the stochastic approaching the neutral area. There's no real divergence to speak of here. So let's look at now the that's on the hourly chart. It actually has hit our bearish divergence on the hourly, so you can see there since our last video, this bearish move on the downside from the CCI came down, hit our target, and then reached the 50% level, and then bounced from there quite dramatically the following hour. So these retraces are not necessarily a long-term change of direction. They just could be a little retrace before resuming further ups these in terms of divergence. So divergence are not necessarily a long-term change of direction. So at the moment, it's sitting around this 50% area, and we may see further upside. It seems like the stochastic is moving to the upside, and so is the CCI. So we may see further upside on the US dollar. Lastly, we're looking at the NASDAQ. Now there is the target has been hit on the hourly, but also on the daily we've got a divergence to watch out for. There's a bullish momentum currently on the hourly, and let's go to the chart. First off, on the daily, you can see there the price has been accelerating quite nicely, and it's hit this resistance at 15,930. Now we did draw this target area for a retrace based on this divergence. The CCI is declining. The stochastic is in a well overbought territory, and it may have peaked there. So again, it may bounce and retrace back from there. You would have noticed last couple of days we've had a couple of pullbacks on the world markets, and this is just another example of that as well. And we may see a bit of a retrace and a bit of a weakening in the markets in the coming days. So that's our daily target. On the hourly, we did hit our target here on that range there since our bullish divergence back there. So it actually hit it back before our last video, but actually retraced back and hit it more convincingly in the last few hours. But again, you'll notice the stochastic is weakening. The CCI is also fallen off quite dramatically with the price as well, and hitting now the 50% level. So again, it's very likely based on the daily we may see further declines on the NASDAQ. So in terms of where we are, we've had a couple of targets hit since the last video, and we've got a few more divergence to look out for. So just keep an eye on that. So to understand how to trade this using the trend and or the divergence approach, subscribe to my Patreon page, where we also do weekly scans of stocks, currencies and commodities. Subscribe, like and share the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in a future video.